What's up everyone, CharmingMan93 here, and a bit of an update on the controversy over Doom 4. Oh god, it's like we're being back in the 90s, isn't it? Fantastic. And today I'm going to be reading a Doom 4 article from the Daily Mirror. The Daily Mirror is basically like, well, they like to see themselves as a left-wing tabloid, but really, if they're left-wing, I'm left-handed. So, you know, now I'm not saying that I'm right-wing, I'm not, but, you know, I couldn't think of a very good analogy, joke, because, you know, if I weren't right-handed, it would make a lot more sense, but, oh well, you know. So, straight away, the headline, in typical tabloid, British tabloid, I should say, fashion, it says, Doom 4, outrage as grotesquely violent blockbuster is unveiled in front of a baying crowd. Baying, right. Oh, God. Sensationalism, people. And this isn't a critical beatdown, this is just a continuation of the saga of Doom 4. I can't believe I'm actually defending a game that I'm really worried about being shit, that I didn't really like the look of, but I'm going to play it anyway. I might end up enjoying it. I don't think it'll be as good as Wolfenstein. Anyway, let's get on with it. And it starts off with a trigger warning, and this is from Jasper Hamill. Yeah, very English, innit? Warning! This article contains shocking violence and satanic imagery, which many readers will find disturbing. So the typical Daily Mirror fucking reader is a highly religious left-wing / right-wing person. I mean, these people are basically like so left-wing they'd be right, but like more conservative than fascist, like Sarkeesian and Macintosh. Like the Daily Mirror fancies themselves as like the party for the Labour Party, the paper for the Labour Party, but they couldn't be more left wing if they tried. Anyway, game studio Bethesda has unveiled its disgustingly violent game Doom 4, the latest instalment. They spelt instalment wrong in the blockbuster shoot 'em up series Doom, of course. A final version of the grotesque game was shown off yesterday in front of a baying crowd of gamers at E3 who cheered every act of sickening violence. See, they've put quotations on disgustingly and grotesque, but that doesn't that doesn't say anything about you. That doesn't try and hide your disgust at this game, a game series you've probably never played, Hamill. And of course, we get the usual Anita Sarkeesian tweets. And I've already read them, so if you just go look at the other video. And he says, feminist campaigner Anita Sarkeesian was watching the launch, tweeting her disapproval of what she had seen. You know what? She shouldn't actually be watching it. You know, if she wasn't relevant, she wouldn't be watching it. But, you know, she's looking for things to parrot. Doom holds a special place in gamers' hearts because it was the first smash hit shoot 'em up. Actually, it was Wolfenstein that was the first smash hit shoot 'em up. In fact, no, it wasn't. Contra was there before them. Space Invaders, but I guess Space Invaders isn't really shoot 'em up, but you get what I mean. It wasn't the first one, and it won't be, and it certainly wasn't the last. Setting the template for a genre which has become a staple of the industry. Yeah, it's not a shoot 'em up; it's a first-person shooter, but never mind. Marty Stratton, executive producer of Doom, said that the secret to any Doom title is badass demons, big fucking guns, and moving really, really fast. It has the big fucking guns and the demons, but it doesn't really have the speed. But you know what? That's exactly what people want in Doom. So I don't know why this guy's complaining, but it's just faux outrage, isn't it? This is the culture that we live in, and this is what the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail, the Sun, this is what they've been leeching on and feeding on for decades, actually centuries now. Actually, if you think about it. Doom is a special part of our individual gaming history, Stratton told the audience at E3. The game's made us feel smart, fast, powerful, and part of something much larger. And that, how can you disagree with that? There's an entire Doom community that has been active for 20 years. That's commitment, and that is definitely making you feel part of something larger. I mean, look at the amount of mods that are still being made today. This game has unending influence. Even if it's dated, people still love it, and people still want to make it even better than it was. Like that new mod that came out, Brutal Doom. Oh look, buzzword. Now, what you guys do, I will link the archive, but it says video game nasty. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, and you'll be mostly non-Brits, video game nasty is a play on the term videotape nasty, I think it was, or just video nasties. Video nasties were basically horror films and action films that were released on VHS in the late 70s and 80s. And I think at one point they were unrated because at the time Britain didn't have a rating system for VHS tapes like they did in the cinema, so anyone could go out and buy them. Now, obviously, I think at the time if you look at the cinema listings, you know what the rating is. At the time, everyone assumed, the adults would have seen it, so they would have known that the kids can't get it, and they should tell their kids not to get it. But of course, kids got it anyway because kids like to rebel, kids like that sort of thing. There was a faux outrage. It was a mob. It was a panic. There was a moral panic over violent films and horror films being released on VHS that were unrated because we didn't have a rating system for some reason. And then we later did. But only after a lot of censorship, a lot of bannings. Some of the films are still banned to this day or are edited to such an extent that they're basically not what they should have been. That's what a video nasty is, and that's what video game nasty is referring to. So you can see what he's trying to do here. You can see exactly what the Daily Mirror, Sarkeesian and the like are trying to do. And don't worry, this is something that the Daily Mail and the Sun will be doing too. It's not just a left-wing paper. Well, left-wing. This is, after all, a Labour-supporting paper. So, anyway. The original game is also known for its extreme violence and satanic imagery, allowing players to take on the role of a battle-hardened space marine who descends into hell. The latest episode ratchets up the violence considerably, inviting gamers to carve enemies in half with a chainsaw, stomp on their heads, and cosh them with a blunt weapon. All these appalling acts of violence are accompanied by huge gushes of blood and huge cheers and whoops from the audience at E3. They particularly enjoyed scenes of brutal hand-to-hand combat, which often results in enemies' heads being blown wide open, and the moment which showed the main character using a dead person's hand to activate a fingerprint scanner. But despite the rapturous response it received at E3, the level of violence in Doom 4 has already drawn criticism. Is it me, or are these people trying to drum up a moral panic through trying to prey on the religious people and those who are easily triggered by violence? Jesus Christ! I thought we were past this. I thought most of the UK didn't even believe in the devil. What the fuck? Incredible. And they're trying to make it out as if Doom 4 is attracting huge criticism. It's not. It's a bunch of idiots and fannies on Twitter moaning and being really salty. I'm sorry, people, but it's nothing. This is fake outrage at the very least. And he quotes some stupid guy called Johnny Salas. However, what I've heard so far, super gory and gross is not a selling point for me. It's just gross. Makes me want Doom even less. You wouldn't even play Doom. Have you even played the Doom games? Have you played any violent game? No, I don't think you have. Go away. It's clearly not for you. God, these people are stupid. It's like they're figuring out in their heads that a game is not meant for them by saying it on Twitter. You can just see the working process, the thought process churning. It's like clockwork. It's like, oh, I don't like this game. It's not meant for me. Why? I'm going to complain about this to find out that it's not for me. And one person said, and this is, oh god, I actually thought that Brianna Wu was the stupidest thing at this fake outrage, but nope. How the hell am I supposed to sleep after watching this? One shocked commenter wrote beneath a video of the game on YouTube. Take a sleeping pill, get off your computer and go to fucking sleep, alright? It's clearly not for you, and if you can't sleep from just a couple of minutes of gameplay, I mean, this is nothing we've seen before, then I don't know what is wrong with you guys. And then he says the game's likely to carry an 18 rating. Well, of course it is. It's clearly for adults. I mean, for some reason they're trying to say that because people cheered violence, that for some reason that's bad. How? People cheer in cinemas when the bad guy gets brutally killed, don't they? I remember I was in a showing for the Hobbit, number 3 to be precise, and we watched all 3 of them that night. 9 hours of film, and there's a moment where Thorin kicks is it Asgul? I think it's Asgul. You know, he kicks the main orc's ass, and everyone's just like, woo! You know, how's that any different? The Hobbit's violent, not to the extent of Doom, but it shows people chopping off limbs, chopping heads off. You know, how's that different? How is that different exactly? You know, I mean, the extent of the violence is kind of different, but they're still chopping off limbs. And then there was a stupid poll where it says, should Doom 4 be censored? You see what I mean by video game nasties? And I looked at it on the actual website, and it's 91% said no and 9% said yes. So even their own readership is just like, what are you trying to do? Stop trying to scare us. It's just clear you've got an agenda here. And so that's it. This is all I've got to say. This is a guy trying to latch on to some fake outrage and some stupid idiots on Twitter. This will go. This won't be to the extent of Doom 1 in 1993, but nonetheless, it's here. So anyway, that's been a quick update. This has been Charming Man 93. Like and share the video. Drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.